I thought today we'd have a little chat about brushes. With so many different shapes, sizes and brands to choose from, it can be difficult to know which brushes to buy. Understanding these differences will help you to choose the right sort of brushes for the type of painting you want to do. Let's begin with looking at a brush I'm sure everybody will recognise. Even though there's hundreds of different types of brushes, most of them all come with the same three components. You have the handle, which is usually made of wood and can be long or short. You have the head of the brush, which is all the different filaments that hold the paint. And these are in all different types of materials, and we'll talk about these later. This central part here is the ferrule, and this is a metal collar that holds the head onto the handle of the brush. Brushes come in all different sizes, and to help you know what size you're buying, you'll see there is a number on each handle. Larger numbers are for larger brushes, and the smaller the brush, the smaller the number. That's the basic brush information for you. I'm going to look now at brush shapes, and these can be divided into two main types. The brushes we've just been looking at are called round brushes. When you roll these brushes across the table, you can see they are the same round plump shape all the way, whichever way you view them, and the head of the brush also forms a nice sharp point. The next main shape is a flat brush. This has a wide side and a narrow side, and you can see when you view it on the narrow profile that it is indeed very flat. It also has a flat, square cornered tip. A variation to the flat brush is the filbert. This is a flat brush just as the other one, but you can see the difference in the top of the head. The very tip of the head, instead of being square cornered, has got rounded corners. These three shapes are the basis for all of the brush shapes you might encounter. Here are some variations on the basic shapes of brushes. The one on the left is a fan brush, and you can see this is a variation of the flat brush. Another variation in the middle is the rake. Some people call this a comb, and you can just make out it has long and short hairs arranged alternately across the surface of the brush. Next to that we have a rigger brush. That doesn't look much different from a standard brush until you place a standard length brush next to it. These two brushes are the same size, but you'll see that the rigger brush has much longer filaments than the standard brush. We've had a look at the brush shapes. Now we need to think about the types of filaments that make up the head of the brush. At one time all we had to play with were brushes made with natural hairs like hog, squirrel, sable and goat. But now we have synthetic fibres to choose from too, and these are often much less expensive than their natural counterparts. Brushes with natural hairs range from being very soft, like this squirrel. This kind of brush is called a mop, to a sable, which has a little bit more spring, right up to bristle brushes like this hog fan, which is quite stiff. Synthetic brushes have been designed to replicate the properties of the natural hairs. This blue brush is quite firm and springy. It's been designed for use with oils and acrylics and can be used alongside the hog brushes. This round brush is designed to be used with watercolour, so it's softer but still has a nice spring. The brush alongside it is a traditional watercolour brush made with the natural hair called sable. You can see the two brushes are almost identical to look at. So this is the end of my little tour of brushes. Hopefully now you'll have a clearer idea of the types of brushes that are available, and you can start to recognise them the next time you're in the art shop. You might also like to watch my video Know Your Brush, which shows you how each brush has its own characteristic marks and how you can achieve them. It also has tips on choosing the right brushes for watercolours and which ones to use with acrylics.